and welcome back, everyone. It's been about a year or two since I did a video, and been getting a lot of work done, and decided that I need to start videos up again. So here we are today, and I suppose for the week we have an engine build that we got to take care of. It's a 6.2 aluminum block, bored out to make a 416 out of it. Been gathering parts for a while now. Callie's crank. Got here some Bullet Series pistons and rods. Carrillo bearings, shaft rocker kits, roller rockers, oil pump, cam, lifters, lifter trays, ARP studs, a dampener, an ATI dampener. Got some ported heads with some Frankenstein stainless steel valves. They're done by Zamora in Mission. What else we got? We got a brand new oil pan. Got an intake. Got some brand new valve covers. Got some fuel rails, some injectors. This engine is going to go into a formula, a Trans Am formula, for one of our previous customers that we had done, I guess, just a cam and an intake on his formula, which is in one of our other videos. And he liked that, so he wanted to go with another car that he has and do all that work to it. So that one, we're going to do a 416 stroker, 4080, and probably a 12 bolt or a 9-inch in the back. But this is the start. We're going to start with a motor, get it all assembled, paint it up. He wants gold color. The car is black, so he wants to do kind of like a black and gold Trans Am style. And this is where we're starting. We're going to start here on the engine, jump to the transmission, get all the drivetrain set up, get the car, start tearing the old stuff apart and making a whole other car out of it. So let's get started here to show you. So right now, I'm gonna take this stand out. Went to the hardware store and got some bolts to put inside the legs that hold it up. Some bolts and washers, so I can put the engine up on the stand. There's an aluminum block. Of course, I tied it. And I need to set it up and start gapping the rings. So the rings that came with the kit, obviously you need to gap them. This is what came with the kit that we ordered. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. I want to show like in detail. I'll probably just do one ring set on one hole and show what it's like, just kind of the basics. We have this a tool right here, and I'll set it up so you guys can see how that works. But pretty much electric ring filer. Let me put the engine up and start from there. Luckily I'm by myself and that thing doesn't weigh anything, so I'll be able to put it on this stand real quick. Give me a second. Okay, so the engine is on the stand. It's just a basic 6.2 aluminum block out of either an Escalade or a Camaro or a truck. These are 2010 through 2013 engines, I believe. I think 2008 or 2009 Corvette. I'm not completely sure. But it's just a DOD AFM style engine, and we are going to use it on this application. So it did get sent out to the machine shop for some boring. Cylinder got bored out. They installed new cam bearings for me and cleaned it up as much as they could. There's not really, well, the machine shop doesn't really have a machine to cook aluminum, I guess, or to take them off. So they did the best they could, blew out all the holes, and we rewashed it one more time just to make sure that there was no metal shavings or anything from the machining. So right now, the each box comes with a full set. So I'm going to label each box cylinder 1, cylinder 2, cylinder 3, and on as I finish them. So it comes with numbers. It's 1, 2, 3. It's top ring, your second ring, and then your oil rings with the your oil ring, or I forgot what they is, scraper, oil scraper. So if you have ever gotten aftermarket pistons, the rings do not come pre-gapped, or they don't come ready to just throw in the block. You have to gap them. And I'm gonna look up the application. I believe we're just going pretty mild. It doesn't have a crazy cam or anything like that. It's not a really aggressive cam. I think it's a 215, 230 something, 629 lift with a 117 LSA. So it's not very aggressive. This engine isn't gonna be like a full race motor or anything. It's just for fun, hanging around the weekends, driving it around. So these rings work fine. The pistons are nice. The rods are nice. It's just what the customer wanted. So we're going to give him what he wants. Let me show you the ring raw, uncut inside the cylinder. Okay, we'll use the piston to center the ring. There's a lot of ways to do this. There's tools for this that push the ring down to the right depth. That'll keep it aligned. There's many ways to do this. I've been doing this for a while, and they work great. If it was a full race motor and we really wanted to get technical, I can go aggressive. I just haven't built enough motors to invest in tools like that, and these work great. So the ring is in. The idea is to set the ring in and check the gap right there with a feeler gauge, and I want to make sure that I'm within specs. I believe it's 18 thousandths, 20 thousandths, or 22 thousandths, within that range for naturally aspirated, just kind of like a stock, not a high compression build. These are the pistons we're going to use. They're just flat top, you know. I don't know if they're diamond pistons or anything, but there's the number. So we're gonna do that. Let me get a feeler gauge check, and then I'll set it up on the little filer. Okay, so I found the sheet that tells you the gap that you're gonna want to do. So it's gonna be the bore times whatever application you're gonna use for the top and second ring. So we're gonna do the Circle Track drag racing and naturally aspirated. It's not going to be a super high performance street because it doesn't have aftermarket heads or dome pistons or anything like that. So everything else is pretty much forced induction. So we'll do Circle Track drag racing NA, which would be 4.070 times 0.0050, which gives me a 20 ring gap. And the second one would be times 60, which gives me about a 24, 25. So I already checked the rings. The top rings show between 14 and 15 as they are out of the box. The bottom rings are about 23, 24 already, so I'm just going to touch those up. I got to bring these up to size. And each one is going to stay in its individual thing. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to keep them like that. So as they come off, they're going back, and it's going to stay with that piston. And this is going to stay with that bore. So this was always going to be my number one. On these engines, the cylinder that's furthest to the front is number 1. So if you look from the top, this one right here is closest. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to start with 1, and then I'm going to go to piston number 2, 3, and I'm going to gap all the top rings and gap all the bottom rings. Okay, so I have the filer set up. I just have it clamped to the table and don't really bolt it. This right here is going to be what moves the ring back and forth. And all I'm going to do is just touch a little bit at a time. I don't want to take too much off. And I'm just going to touch right there. It's zeroed out. The ring is touching up against that. And I'm only going to want to go just a couple thousandths at a time and check it every time I come down a little bit and make sure that I get where I need to be. All right, the ring is in. Right now I'm at an 18. Goes in a little tight. Let's go down a size. Do 16. Sixteen fits nice and good. Yep, goes all the way down. 18. Actually, 18 goes in too. 19. 19 goes in. You gotta make sure that the ring stays straight. It'll give you a wrong reading. And here's a 20, which is my goal. And 20 goes in. Let's go 20. What's here? 22. Dang. I got a 25. 25 does not go in. Thought I had something in between. Probably need to get another feeler gauge, but 20 fits great. 25 fits too loose. So as long as I'm in that realm, yeah, 25 is not going in. I'm gonna stay out of that realm of the higher gap. And then the bottom one's already, gotta check it one more time. But anyways, you get the basics of it. I'm gonna focus, make sure I get these right. Let me do all of them and then I'll come back here in a second. Okay, so all the rings are gapped. 20 and 24. As per application, as per recommendation for Circle Track, drag racing, and any application. Next thing I gotta do is assemble the rods to the pistons. So I'm gonna use some brand new high performance assembly lube. These are the wrist pins. Put oil on this, and the rods from Comstars. 6125 Comstars. And it tells you here, notice these rods are ready to install. No machining or weight adjusting needed. Attempts to alter these rods will eliminate the beneficial compressive stress that has been generated on the surface. Here's a installation for the bolts. And here we got a little sheet that already tells us information about it. And the lube that it comes with. So here, we'll be pouring oil there. And it uses these little locks to hold them in place, the spiral locks. Now about these rods, the factory ones have a dimple that tells you which way they face. These don't. So the way you do it is, if you notice, there is a flat side here, and on the other side, it's beveled. It's got like a little chamfer on it. This side goes towards the weight of the crank, and then this side faces the flat face of another rod. So another rod would be sitting on it. Face to face. Come on now. So you have a beveled surface and a flat surface. Both flat surfaces would be sitting on top of each other, and these sides would go towards the weight of the crank. So once I pull the crank out, I'll show you. But the crank has a rod journal where 2 rods fit side to side, and then on each side of the rod journal there's a weight that balances the crank. And the chamfered side would face the weight of the crank, then the other rod would sit like this, and then this chamfered side would sit up against that. That is the way to do it. The pistons also, they go a certain direction, so as I'm assembling them, I have to make sure that they are correct installed to the top where the valve relief is on the top, because I could install it and the valve relief would end up on the bottom. That is incorrect. So one at a time, assembly, make sure that my number 1 is facing the correct direction to where it would face the correct rod side of number 3, and then number 2 and number 4 and so on. I'm gonna try to get to that. Let me try to assemble one of the rods real quick and then just continue, and then I'll pull the crank out, wipe down the block, because no matter what, even though it's clean, still got to wipe it down again, make sure that everything is clean and there's no material in the block, no dirt, no dust, and make sure that everything as I'm assembling gets wiped and cleaned. So let me assemble a rod. I'll try to show you that real quick. Okay, so the way you want to do this is you want to get one clip in, which I just did. It's kind of hard to do holding the phone. So you just go in on one side and you use this little hole to kind of put a small little screwdriver and give you a little bit of pressure so you can push the spring in. And it's pretty easy. Just takes a little bit of patience. So the piston is going to face the top, and this is going to be the first one. The second one is going to be on the opposite side. So I'm going to want this bevel to face the front of the crank, which is going to be on this side, and this side is going to ride on another rod. So I'm going to install it in this direction. And there we go. Locks on both sides. Plenty of lube. Moves around freely. This will fit on top of the cylinder, and then the bevel side goes towards the crank. This side goes towards the other rod. And there we go. Now I can install the rings, install the bearings, pull the crank out, get it cleaned up, and keep going. Okay, so I got all the pistons assembled, all the wrist pins and locks in to the right orientation so that they face the correct way when I install them. All the rings are gapped, organized. Right now, focusing on setting up the engine to get ready for the crank. These are King bearings that we're going to be putting in it. The only thing I do with these is I just wipe them down, make sure that there's no debris or dirt before I install them. They're not in all the way. Got the crank out. Just wiped it down, blew some air through these holes just in case there is any old machine work or machining pieces or whatever that stayed in. So crank is about ready. Bearings are set. I gotta push them in. Make sure I already blew out the engine. I already cleaned everything up. This is just it just looks dirty, but it's not. It's completely clean. Right now, the buddy's just gonna finish wiping these down to get them prepped for the other upper half of the bearings or the lower half because the engine is slide down, and then we'll go ahead and throw the crank in. All right, so we're gonna set the crank in nice and slow. I'm shaking because this thing is friggin' heavy. Okay, so main caps are on, crank is in, lube is on. We're using stock bolts and torque sequence and torque specification. So the inner bolts are going to go 15 foot-pounds and then 80 degrees. And I'm going to be using my Snap-on half-inch ratchet that goes from 15 to 300. It has foot-pounds and it has degrees, so I can change the foot-pounds and degrees. I'll set it at that. So inside ones go 15 and then 80, and then the outside ones go 15 and 51. So we'll be doing that, and then we got to put the side bolts, and those go to 22 foot-pounds, and we should be good to go to start dropping in pistons. Let's start with these. It's 15. So back up. And it's in sequence. You start your way in. Start in first, work your way out. 3. I'm gonna back up on this one. Back. And also another thing is they have to have oil in the threads or some sort of lubricant, and oil on the face of the bolt where the bolt meets the cap to get the correct spec. If you throw them in dry and it's not lubricated, we use assembly lube. This assembly lube. So Lucas, you can get it at any auto parts store. I did not use that for the bearings. The bearings I used Super White lithium. I've been using that for years. It's the best grease or the best assembly lube I've ever used for these engines. But yeah, you have to put oil in the threads and oil on the face of these. If you throw them in dry, you'll get a bad reading. They stop. I've had some where I forgot to put some, and I was tightening, they were making a cracking noise all the way down. So loop them up, that way they ride nice and smooth, and you'll get a good reading. Okay, so a little fast forward. Got the cam in, got the pistons in, the rods all put together, torqued down, new windage tray, new pickup tube, new oil pump, timing sprocket, timing chain, new guide dampener. So right now I'm gonna focus on putting the covers front and back, aligning them up nice and even. Throw the brand new oil pan that we have here. Throw the oil pan on, flip it over, put the lifters in, put the lifter trays, head gaskets, put the heads on, and then assemble these roller rockers onto the new shaft kit that is here, onto this new rocker shaft kit. So I got to take these apart, pull these little trunnion pieces out, and slide these onto the shaft kit, lock them in place, and then I'll be able to put the rockers. I have to check push rod length, so that's another thing I got to do. So got a new cover from O'Reilly's. Works good. It's got a warranty. So this thing ever leaks or this thing leaks or anything goes on with it, lifetime warranty. They'll just give me a new one. So I prefer that versus using an OEM one and I don't have no warranty. Seal leaks, I have to go and buy a seal. Like this, it's paid for and it's it, lifetime warranty. Any issues with it, they'll just replace it. So got a new cam sensor for it. So let me get to that. See how far we get right now. Okay, so I think I got out of hand here, but I believe I did show the windage tray, pickup tube, oil pump, timing chain was on. I put the rear main seal already. Did the front timing cover with a seal. Still got to do the balancer. I already put the top cover with the new seals. Put the new lifters, new lifter trays. Pistons are in. Head gaskets are on. And I'm trying to think. I guess just the balancer, the heads. I got to do the rocker shafts. And we're going to have to check push rod length because the rocker shafts look like they're taller than factory ones. So other than that, looks great. Get that shine on those pistons. So I'm going to get ready to throw the heads on. We got ARP bolts for it here. Yeah, they're bolts, not studs. Yeah, head bolts. 134, 36, 10. I gotta check to see, make sure that they're the right ones because there's a short and long bolt style, and then there's one where they're all short. So I'm gonna open that up and check. And they are the correct ones. Yeah, this engine uses the LS2, LS3 style, newer model, second generation head bolt set. So they're all the regular size, all same equal size except for the little tiny ones that go here on top. But all of these are the same. The LS1 older model is 99. It uses a really long ones, and then just on the corners it has like medium sized bolts and then tiny ones. But this engine does have all short. So let me slap the heads on it and put these bolts through. Okay, the bolts are in. And procedure is going to be 25 first pass, 50 second pass, 80 foot-pounds the last pass, and then the little tiny bolts that go on top, which is 15 through 14 to, well, I guess 11 to 15, is going to be 25 foot-pounds. So in order, exactly like that. That's how I'll do it. Let me torque them down. I don't have anybody here helping me record, so you won't see me torquing it down. So nonetheless, all my previous videos you've seen me do it. Let me knock this out. All right, so the engine is all buttoned up. Next up, we just got to do the rocker shafts and check push rod length. So this is what we got going on. Got some roller tip rockers that came complete. I pressed out all the trunnions because the shaft kit requires the rocker arm to slide into the shaft, kind of like this. Let me show you. So this, I think it's two rockers per shaft. There we go. So that's pretty much how they'll be centered. I'll center them. These little holes here will bolt on to the rocker shaft here in 3 parts. So the shaft will be bolted, the rockers will be bolted, and then you got these that bolt the rockers to the head and this shaft to the head. So I got to slide them on there, and they come with some washers that go in between, and here are the little tiny bolts that go on the shaft. So let me assemble the kit and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I got frustrated with rocker arm adjustment and push rod stuff. So I came over to Zamora Racing Heads. He has a lot more patience and on stuff like that, which is good because the push rods that it needed were 7.3s, and there was no way I was gonna figure that out because my tool doesn't go down that small. So he buttoned it up for me, and last night we put the water pump and all the other stuff on and threw it on the stand. We're starting it with this intake and carburetor just to start it, run it, check oil pressure, make sure everything's fine, make sure everything's firing. And this is just for startup purposes. It's not how the engine's gonna be in the end. It's gonna have an intake with fuel injection. So yeah, we're about to start it. We got fuel, we got spark plugs, we got oil, we got water. So got a gauge here hooked up, mechanical, to the back of the valley cover. These coils are just universal, just whatever coils to get them started. So let's see if we can get it started here in just a second.
Le quité que traía el crank, trae yellow, gray. Sí, aquí están tres. Brown de la Mac.
So she's back, and this would conclude part 1 of the Formula Trans Am build. We haven't shown you the car. Soon enough, we'll get the car and go over the car and all the changes that we're gonna make to it. But this is part 1, which is one of the main parts, which would be the engine. None of this stuff is gonna stay. Like the coils are not gonna stay. These are just regular truck coils. We're gonna put some nice LS3 coils on it so it looks clean. Maybe some MSD coils. Get a new crossover pipe, and just do the right stuff that we're gonna use. Got the intake and everything already ready to go on. But yeah, everything came out good. Everything was fine. It's gonna sit for a little bit until we gather more stuff and get the car, and then part 2, hopefully this year, of us working on the car, getting the transmission rebuilt, ordering a differential. I think we're gonna go with a Moser 12 bolt, and it's not really gonna be a race car, but the customer does want quality, so it's one of those situations where if he needs it, he has it. Everybody knows that the F bodies don't really have great rear ends. The stock 10 bolt is kind of weak, and since we're putting some power down to it, yeah, we don't want it to have issues. So this is probably going to be one of the biggest projects I do to date, where I do a complete change on the car. So hopefully here soon we'll get videos of the car and talk plans. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging around, and if you made it this far, I appreciate you. It's been a long time since we made a video. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. I'm always trying to read every single comment. I'll reply. If you have any questions, or if you have a different view of things, I'd like to talk about it. I have no problem with criticism, and I have no problems with people telling me different ways of things, or what I could have done different or better, or suggestions, stuff like that. So go ahead and do what you need to do, and I'll see you all in the comments. Thanks, guys.